Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place to find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Karen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Oh, one of my favorite people. She's here to help us get our money and our mind straight about our money. And we've been talking about getting your happiness plan together. So that's what I call it. Coach Karen will explain that later. So we're looking for some practical steps. So if you have a desire to do money better, this is the place, guys. We're talking money in English in a way that you can understand and get it done. So look, without further ado, I introduce to some, present to others, Coach Karen Fern, your money mindset coach from the Money Mindset Academy.
Thank you,
Terry.
Terry.
Find her on the web everywhere under Coach Karen, Profits in Daily. So let's get this party started.
Let's get this party started. I'm good. I'm good. So
it's so good to see you this morning.
Thank you. Same. It's May, guys. In a month's time, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna hit the month that is half a year. And
oh
so
my
that's
God!
why I am talking budgeting again, because you guys know I bring a couple times a year, and I bring a couple times a year because it's also important. And you wouldn't believe it. Every time I meet a new client or talk to somebody who has never had a budget in their lives, don't understand the money that has gone out their pockets, and they're struggling. And it's still amazing because people's like, it's all over the place. Everybody knows about it. And I felt that same way for a long time. Matter of fact, I used to think so. And I think it's about over 7 years ago, I wrote my first budgeting course and offered it for free. And there's a lot of people who wasn't brave enough at the time to tell me in public, but they'll message me and say, I never had a budget. I'm so embarrassed. I'm always struggling. And when you explain certain things, I can see why. Because I used to think about it as restriction versus it being just a way for me to see where I'm at, where I need to be, and what I need to catch up on. Because that's what budgeting is about. And Terry loved to call it the happiness plan, but it's really giving you a roadmap to see where expenses meet reality. That's what it is, because you have whatever you have. Expenses meet reality. And when you have a look and you notice that one is overlapping the other, you really get to see why you're not getting ahead, why you're not getting to meet the basic needs, then to get ahead. Because when you're in that headspace where you're solely consumed with not making enough or getting enough in, it really deprives you and take away your creativity. It take away that freedom to just think and see yourself in a better light, to understand all the things you prayed and asking for is really in your hands, but you're not seeing it because you're not in this place where you can clear things away and have a good look. So last week, without any further ado, we cover, the realistic starter earnings, because if you don't earn enough money, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, you have to earn enough money. You have to have a way that money's coming in, whether you're earning money on a job, or you have a business that's earning money, or, your welfare or social security, any one of those things, you still need a budget for it. All right. You still need a budget. You don't have to be embarrassed if that's the place you are right now. That's where you're at. Don't argue. Don't tell anybody. Just be at that place and expect to be in a better place. That's it. And once we talked about the earning, the starter budget, then we went into setting and attaining a goal that you'd like to see within that budget. And you guys can go back for the replayers or anybody who's joining us to go back and watch the previous week and what we talked about, because I went in talking about a lot of things. Can't remember the top of my head, but when I come and the thought process is flowing, I just go with it. So today we're talking about intermediate earnings. And that is the one where you got a job and you got a side hustle. You're doing something on the side, so there's more money. That's one way to look at it. The second way is, this was your starter money, but now you got a raise. So you got a little chunk going on top of it. And what I usually like to tell people, when it's a job situation, you really don't want to go crazy and say, well, I got a lot of new money to spend. And so the first thing was, what is intermediate earnings? And that's what it is, what I'm describing right now. It's really where you get that top up, you got that promotion, you got a raise, whatever that is, you got it. And now that you get it, don't go crazy. Now, I've had people who work in lower paying jobs said, all I got was 25 cents, or all I got was 30 cents, or all I got was 50 cents. How is that a big deal, Karen? Well, you got 50 cents. And maybe they're taking $1 out of the 50 cents. They're taking 10 cents out of the 50 cents. So you really just end up with 40 cents. What are you going to do with 40 cents? If it was 40 cents and it's 8 hours you're working, it's 4 8 32. That's $3.20, pardon me, that you're getting extra a day. 3 5 15. That's 15 and 20 by 5. That's $16 a week extra that you are getting. Now, it's chicken feed to most people. To some people, it's a golden ticket, because that's $16. If you multiply it 2 times, it's 32. And 2 more times is $64 that you were not receiving before. And if you were to take that $64 and plug it into a simple thing that's going to give you something, now nothing big, we understand, because learning, emotions all over the place. But if you were to take that $64 and put it somewhere, it's close to $800 at the end of the year. And that's no interest added.
Wow.
That's just your money. Could you imagine if it gained interest? What is that?
Hold on a minute. So $40, 40 cents. Is that an hour or 40 cents a day?
40 cents an hour, because usually
40 cents an hour. Okay.
Yes, because I'm going to put it here. So 40 cents an hour, right? Because remember, let's say you get 50 cents and they take 10 cents. So let's talk numbers here.
40 cents an hour over
multiplied by 8 hours.
By a 40-hour work week, right? Okay.
Let's do that. 40 an hour, 40 hours work week multiplied by 0.40. $16. Yeah, just as I said. Okay, so I'm quick at calculating in my head. Sorry. I
am not the math whiz. That's why I sat back and let you do that math. Okay. So $16 a week.
Right.
I'm going to write a question here.
And let's multiply that by 4. That's 64. You end up at $64 for the month.
What can you do with $16 a week? That's a course. Okay. Okay. What can you do with $16 a week? Okay. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Because we teach a smart money class for our church,
right?
And one of the things that we teach about is increase. That you were sent here to increase,
yes,
to trade until he comes back. Okay,
yes.
Do commerce till he comes.
Yes.
Do business till he comes back. Okay.
Yes.
And so many people say they can't get started because they don't have enough. Now that's $16 to me. I can just think of a number of places where increase can happen.
Exactly. And I'm giving the bare minimum where there's nothing you're doing, and that's where you're getting. But if you take it and you do something else with it.
One of the things we always say is, look, we live in California. Most of the people that we talk to live in California. And today it's going to be 92 degrees.
Ooh.
This is a normal thing in the area of California we live in the Sacramento Valley. It can get 105, 106. We say if you have $5, you could buy a case of water, stand on the corner and sell water for $1 a bottle. Now you got $24.
There you go.
And so I see $16. How many cases of
water you can buy? Can you see right away? You can
now afford the tub from the dollar store and some ice. You can actually cool that water.
Yes. Yeah. I used to have a dollar store in a place where I guess you call it a flea market here. And I had a dollar booth. And I used to sell water, drinks, and all sorts of things. Let me tell you. It started out one way and I turned in, because right away when I started looking at the market, I knew that $1 would send people just coming. And anything you come in there, you can pay for $1, and no tax was added. So people would just come and buy.
And because they didn't have to have change, they didn't have to,
Just $1. And your weekends become brighter. I used to do Saturday and Sundays. Your weekend becomes brighter. There's just so much stuff. That's why I always start with work, because I want you to know, if you have nothing, don't knock a job. Go get a job and use that as your angel investor so that you can plan things out. Matter of fact, if you have no job and we're talking budgeting, you want to sit down and write out everything that you need and you want and you should have, and understand the pricing of it. Go find out, do this research so that when you get a job, you know where the money's going to go. You're not saying, oh my God, I get this job and I pay. You know where the money's going to go. You know what's going to left over. And you work hard and you be diligent, you will see increase. I had a client used to come and get alterations done, and I would always encourage her, just different things. And she came a day and she knocked on the door and I wasn't there. She came back twice. My kids were like, I don't know, this lady's looking for you. And she came, I said, what happened? You need it. She goes, no, Karen. Remember we talked about something? I just want to tell you the good news, because people are so happy to share when you give them advice and they put it to use and it happened. She had a job. She lost a job. And I said to her, don't worry, just keep making sure you're staying focused on getting the new job. And when you get the new job, get in there and work like nobody's business. And she really stopped to let me know that it paid off. She got this new job in space of 90 days. She got a little promotion with a little bit of raise. So she wanted me to know what happened. And she said, Karen, I was getting down, but your words just keep ringing in my head. I just need to stay focused on what I'm going to do. And she just worked as hard as possible, because she didn't know this new job was tough, new territory. She didn't know what to do. So they had to train her. She was worried that she wasn't going to be able to, work in the capacity, the speed they wanted to work in. This is a lady that had not finished high school, and it was a big lady. And she's feeling really nervous. And I say to her, tell them, be honest. So listen, this work, I don't know it, but I'm willing to learn. If after 90 days I don't catch on, it's okay if you let me go. And she says those words changed the supervisor tone with her and the supervisor behavior with her, because now everything she asked, the woman will teach her. Anything she didn't know, the woman spent time teaching it to her. I said, there's no point to pretend you know the work when you don't know the work. Get in there and get trained, and then work your butt off to let them see that you really want this job. And, in in 90 days, I think they gave her $1 more or $1.25 more. And she was just so ecstatic. And I told her, I said, that new money doesn't go anywhere. That new money goes somewhere else, because remember what just happened? We want to have this cushion. We want to have your cash flow. In case this doesn't pan out, we want you to not panic if this still was to happen the next time around. And that's what we're talking about today, that intermediate money where you get new money. Don't go spend it.
Good morning, Patricia. Patricia's over here on the live stream. How you doing this morning?
Patricia.
And we've been talking about what can you do with increase. And I'm going to put this banner up. What can you do with $16 a week?
Because once you put it on paper, and that's why I love pen and paper, if you're writing it on the internet, when you put it down and you see what I'm talking about, you actually see that I'm not just pulling money out of my ears. I'm actually giving the numbers to go along with it. And number two is, why is it important to understand what effects it has on your set budget and your mindset and your behavior? It really, truly, if you take the money and the raise, and you were to take it and spend it into what you were doing already, it's hard for your mind and body to feel the boost and feel encouraged and feel that new things are happening. We love newness. We love when something great and exciting is happening. And this increase give you that feeling, but you want to take it a step further and make it work for you. This is when we say, let your money work for you. I know we think about it in a bigger realm, and most people who are talking about it is really talking about thousands of dollars. But let me tell you, you can start with as little as what I just said, as 40 cents. That bigger realm, that place you want to get to, you just have to understand it. I'm going to give an example of Fiverr. Fiverr is a place where people pay $5 for things. And I myself had a little account on Fiverr. I haven't done anything with it in a while. But let me tell you, Fiverr is a place where you charge $5 for things, and you do things that people would probably pay hundreds of dollars for somewhere else. But you're not doing it to that big capacity. You're doing it minute for the person. You might doing somebody Facebook page, doing social media posts for them. I done social media posts for them. I had mortgage brokers social media I would do for them, real estate, social media, because they weren't able to come up with the consistency and to understand what they were doing. And they were in the business a long time, but they didn't understand social media. And so I didn't charge a lot of money for it. But what would happen is I get enough people in the queue that you're making money. Then you can charge $10, you can charge $20, and you can just have it go up. And people tell people, because the big thing with Fiverr is when you get on Fiverr, there's so many people that you're like, who am I going to go to? But when somebody recommends somebody, you're like, they use them already. And they go. And this lady was in an office with about 60 other agents or how many other. And she's like, just go to Karen. She'll just set you up. Just go to Karen. She'll just set you up. And then there's a bunch of people I'm getting their social media going, or their Facebook going, or what have you, and have them moving on. And that was a nice side gig because it's $5. It's your $5. They take out whatever percentage, but it's okay. So any little bit that you could figure out how to go and get it.
Do not despise small beginnings.
No, go get it. But when you get it, don't take it and spend it. Don't say, well, okay, it's now going to fix this. No, it's supposed to give you more. That's the job of it. It's supposed to really give you more. So last week, I think I did a little sample budget where I talk about living expenses, debt expenses, food expenses, things for yourself and gift and all that sort of thing. If you've set that up and it was okay and you were making ends meet, don't add the new. Just stick with it. Don't add the new. Just stick with it. Because when you do, in 6 months' time, you see the difference. I'm always excited when people come back to me in 90 days, in 6 months, in a year, and they see the difference within themselves. The people who never had money in their account, they had an account, but they're just there to pay the fees and pull the bills through,
Yes.
But there's nothing else. And they're afraid to have anything else because then they say, I'll go to bills. But it's not true. You just have to sit back, understand how budgeting works, understand it's just set up so that your expenses are paid and you understand where your money is going. It's not to take away from you, because in all my budget, I always talk about self. And self get whatever you appointed to self. So that you get to spend whatever you're spending for you in that little piece there. If it's $60, it's $50. That's what it is. When I had my first big paying job, me and my friend sat down and we gave ourselves $40. I know it's a long time ago, but we're in the 90s. We gave ourselves $40 a month and we stuck with it for 2 years. All we would give ourselves was $40 because we had other things. I student loan, she whatever, she was planning for a wedding, all these other things we had. And we didn't want to, at least after the first 3 months, I said to her, I'm not going to let this money go to my head and I just spend it like I'm crazy. And she's like, Karen, I'm right behind you. And you want to stick to that and you really want to pay attention, because what happens is most people budget goes up when they make more money. So once you're in the intermediate earnings, you start thinking, I got all this money. Now, if you must give yourself something and I don't want you to be greedy with you, then you take it and you do half of it. Half of it is for me, and then half goes into some kind of investment. Terry talk about the water you can sell, investment. You could invest in somebody else where they do the work and you're doing the managing, because when your money's involved, you want to have some kind of, especially when you're starting out knowing, if you're into stocks, if you want to learn those things, but if you don't know those things, you want to be safe. In Canada, it's RRSP and TSFA and other things. You guys have the same, it just called different names, 401k, all that stuff. Same.
Okay. Yes, investment tools.
Yes, and those are your basics, because if you don't have that yet, you want to fill that up. You want to fill up those buckets before you go into the other experimental buckets. Those are your safe bucket. Those are your buckets for your retirement. Those are your buckets so that you can have money. And then once you able to do that and your government tell you how much a year you can max out, that's what you want to go look at. Go look at what you can max out, max it out. And then now you can go to town on the other thing, the other areas. All of a sudden things are open to you. If you love real estate before and you couldn't afford to buy a house for investment purposes, all of a sudden now there's a window that start opening up. Then, maybe I could buy a condo and rent it out. Or maybe I could buy a house and have tenants. Like, you start looking at life differently. If you're in a space where a lot of people are telling you tenants are bad and this is not a good thing for you, do not listen to them. Go read up, go find out how it works, how to be the best landlord ever, and then be that person if this was part of what you want to do. Don't listen to people. I've had friends who were fantastic landlords, and they always had the best tenant. My dad was not a good landlord. And of course, before I took over managing that section of his business, if you will, he wasn't a good landlord. And I said to him, if you're not a good landlord, that's why you're losing tenants. Mm-hmm. But if you're good, people will stay with you. And I said to him, this is the things you got to do. Now, he fought me on it, but I won't give up. So he released, and, he started having people for like 2 years on the lease, 3 years on the lease, because now he's being better with it. I said, it's not because you got to go, you just got to find the right people. So we find the right guy who, if your toilet leak, they call Martin. If the floors come up, you call Martin. Now there's a place to go. My dad don't have to get out of bed. And then these things are looked after. Martin sent us the bill. We clear the bill. And, life got a little better for him.
So sometimes what I hear you saying is when you start making money, sometimes you have to find a partner who will do the things that you don't know how to do, and pay people. Pay people to do the stuff you don't know how to do. Yes. Now, I've seen Maureen is in here. Maureen is a fitness expert. If you don't know how to get the weight off, if you don't know how to take care of your belly fat, you need to talk to Maureen. She's a specialist with health for, women, menopausal women, people of a certain age. You know how we begin to spread around the middle, especially with the year off. I don't know about you, but I have really spread, and I need to talk to Maureen. Maureen, call me. But I'm just saying that, when that increase happens,
look for the help you need.
And to keep it increasing, you need to invest, is what I heard you say. Yes,
you need to get our help because, here's the other thing. If one of the big hampers, and I know I had that happen to myself, is you might have family members or people that can do this for you. And you're like, why wouldn't they help me? Well, they might not be in the headspace yet that they could. It's not because they don't want to. Stop looking at it that way. Find the people who's already in that space already, who's already doing great things, and look at them. Talk to them, deal with them, because they'll help you get way faster, way farther ahead than worrying with the people who's right in front of you. The people in front of you, they're not ready. If they are not ready, you can't get them ready. They have to be ready. They have to be willing. They're ready too. I remember I had this friend, he was an engineer, and he was he did with fridges and freezer. Can't remember exactly his title, his degree in it. And he was a smoker, eh? And I sat him down and we were talking about how much money he spent in cigarettes. You see, after I did the calculations, I keep telling him about the effects of it, but once I did the money calculations.
We got a different thing going here, right? Okay. We want to say good morning to Cecilia too.
Hi, Cecilia.
Now, Maureen says they're not ready. Everybody's not ready. That's true. And then Mark Ward's in the house, girl.
Hi, Mark.
How you doing, Mark? Mark says, I'm all about hiring experts. It's their calling and expertise, not mine. I don't need the stress and additional evidence of what is not mine to do. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Turn it over to people who know what the heck they're doing. Yes. I don't want to do my own plumbing. I don't want to. You don't want me to handle your electricity, trust me.
And they feel, when you don't have enough, you feel that way that you can't call anybody, because the amount of money you think it's going to cost when you call somebody when you don't have any, it's crazy, and it scares you. That's what it is, because there's not enough money in the pot. So you think you have to do it for yourself, which usually, because you don't have the tools, it's more expensive. The thing I always say to people, it's not about not calling somebody. It's about finding out what would be needed so that when you speak to the person, you can actually have a conversation. It costs you more money when you don't know what to say when you call a plumber, by the way, because he's coming, not knowing, he's bringing all that stuff and he's charging you. By the way, I used to run a plumber's office. And the prices sometimes is ridiculous, but lots of times because people don't know what they're doing. So the plumber gets there and he's going to have 2-3 jobs to do. When if you had known to explain yourself and understand what's going on, you wouldn't have paid all of that. I used to have a lot of people not pay all those crazy prices because plumbers are crazy.
Let's just say They went to school to learn what to do, and we did not in that case, and we need to just pay. It's like a surgeon. Okay, surgeons have crazy prices too, but are we arguing with them? No.
Nope, because
Do what you do, boo, and I'll write a check later. Here we go. So here's Mark. Time is also money, and stress has a cost too. Absolutely.
I agree with you.
You're going to pay somebody. It's going to either be the doctor, the lawyer, whatever. Okay.
Yep.
So just get her done and figure it out later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And if you can pay the expert, do whatever you need to do temporary. Look at it temporary. Again, there's the other things I talk about in budget land. Look at temporary. What could I do temporarily? Know the people you're calling in. I remember we calling this guy, and he used to be one of our cleaning clients. And I call me such a good contractor. And I call him in to do sliding doors and to fix the vent for a stove. He's really a good contractor, but he's expensive. And so he came and he gave my husband the price. And my husband is like, couldn't we find anybody else? And I was like, this dude, he's probably double. But I'm telling you, when he's finished, you're going to be so pleased.
He's worth the money.
He's worth it. And I wasn't having it. I was like, this guy is coming. He's going to get it done. And I tell you, Terry, came in. Yes, he take a little longer because he's very particular. He's everything has to be right. That's his thing. I love him. I'm so sorry.
Is he particular or is he just detailed? You know what I'm saying?
And detailed, both. I was so sad because we had some other work to do, but his mom got sick and he just needed the time off. He says, Karen, I'm not even taking on work because my mind is just hard on my mind.
I think a lot of us went through that. Yeah.
Hard on the mind. And I respect that. Like, he's not taking the job for the money's sake and coming and doing crap. He's like, I can't do it. My mom is not well. It's focused on.
And I can't give you my best.
Yes.
I
can't do it. And we have to understand that.
Dr. Tachi, how you doing this morning?
Hi, Tachi. So we have to be understanding of this. We have to set up what we want to do. And if right now all you can do is where you're at, that's where you're at. Now, I talk about getting the raise, but what if it's your business? If it's your business, you also should be running your business. And this part I already forgot to say. You should be running your business where you could increase your draw-ins. You could increase your salary at some point. You have to have a marketing plan and a prediction and all those things set up in your business. If you don't, you need to sit with yourself and figure this out. If not, hire somebody to help you work yourself through these processes and don't wait until you have no money. Like you need to know, there's people in business 4 or 5 years and don't pay themselves. And they're saying it to people. I'm like, stop telling other people this nonsense that, I got my business for 5 years and I haven't been paid yet. Stop saying that. You should be paying yourself the first year, because for the first year when you're in business, first of all, you are an employee. And most people are employees for 4 or 5 years in their businesses. So you doing the labor work anyway. Why aren't you costing out the labor? The reason I love people to do business budgets and I love them to cost out the labor is because eventually you're going to hand it over to somebody. But while you're doing it, you should be paid for that labor cost. And your job is to set up your business. That's also why I want people to have a capital when they start their business, so that they're not just pulling out money from their bank account as the capital. No, this is the overhead, because I'm going to pay a person to look after my social media, emailing, whatever, my marketing. This is what I'm going to pay. If you are a marketer yourself, are you paying yourself that salary? Maybe you can't pay the high top, but somewhere in the middle. And that salary is we're going to pay for your living expenses while you do the rest of the stuff in your business. So you're not feeling stressed. You're not feeling struggling that you can't think and be creative enough to make this business actually be profitable.
Wow. A profitable business.
That's fun to run. It gotta be profitable.
Apple out of your hustle.
You cannot be in this business and say, oh my God, I'm not making any money from it. Or afraid to charge what you're supposed to charge so you can make money from it.
Now, I think that's something that you should definitely expound on, because a lot of people are not really making money in their business because they're not charging enough.
Yes. And next week, when we talk about the future earnings, we're going to cover some of that, where we're going into how you pay yourself, how you set up your business so you can be paid. As a laborer, I have a client right now, and I make her pay herself as the laborer, and I make her pay herself drawings, and she has a profit in the business. And she's like, I've never seen we have all those sections in my business before. She's like, so you mean I'm going to be paid? I'm like, yes. How much you want to be paid an hour? And she's finally getting paid as the employee, because that's all she is right now. We're looking for somebody to take over that specific area, and she's going to be able to pay them. And this is the other good thing. If you're paying yourself $25 an hour, which is what we're looking at her, and she bring in an employee, she can pay that employee $18 to $20 an hour and still make a profit on the employee as that $5. So she's still going to get $5. This is before people, whoever listen and say, well, that's robbing people. No, I ain't robbing nobody. That's what she needs to start the employee for the type of work at, because she's paid above minimum wage at that number, by the way. And she's given room to increase the employee's salary over time. If she start them at the top, where is she going to take them? Because of the type of business she's doing. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
You know, but yes.
That makes sense. Well, guys, we've been talking about intermediate budgeting. Last week we talked about a starter budget, right?
Yes, we started with starter. This week, the intermediate earnings and what happens with it, like the profits on top of it. That's
so. If you're wondering what this banner is, it says, "What can you do with $16 a week?" Coach Karen was talking about the fact that if you get a 40-cent an hour raise, that is equivalent to $16 a week. And she was brainstorming some of the ideas of what we could do with that $16. So if you didn't catch that, you want to catch that on the replay. Coach, I just want to encourage people that do not despise small beginnings. Just ask him to show you what to do with whatever it is you have in your hand. Mark says here, my staff is poorly paid and poorly treated, despite having a wonderful boss. How many are in my company? Just me.
Well, stop treating you poorly, Mark.
We do it all the time.
Yeah, stop treating you poorly. And we start off like that, but we just have to backtrack and look at some things and look at some numbers. You know, I didn't start out that way. I get paid when I get paid, and then I stop. Hey, hold on. I don't like it that way. And I start seeing a profit because I start moving things around and understanding where it has to go. And understand, profit is not my drawings. Profit is profit. My drawings is my drawings. My labor cost is my labor cost. And so when I put somebody in that position, I can comfortably pay them because I've been paying me. The hardest part for people, you know, I have my cleaning company too. And when I'm in groups and people are talking, but I'm not getting paid, I'm barely making this amount of money. I'm like, well, you didn't set it up to make any money. And I would just break it down quickly for them. Like, how much are you charging an hour for clean? Stop charging by the hour, by the way. Charge per clean. That way you can pay per clean to your employee and you can make money and your business can make money. Because if your business don't make any money, how are you going to advertise? How are you going to be able to pay for cleaning business? You need advertisement constantly. You don't ever stop advertising for clients and employees. You got to keep doing it. People quit on you or get sick. It's a physical job.
So Dr. Tachi says, yes. Mark's, thanks for the information, Maureen says. Dr. Tachi says, yes, Mark and Gentleman is the title of his company. And we have some little comments over here. Mark says, I feel seen. Thank you. Dr. Tachi. You know what? We want you all to know that we do appreciate you tuning in. And we hope that something was said today that will help you move forward in your endeavors to run a profitable business that's fun to run and take the hassle out of your hustle. So with that, we want to remind you to follow Coach Karen everywhere on the web under Profits in Daily. And I'm looking for the banner as we speak, Coach Karen. I did find this one, but I'm still looking for it.
That one is fine. Don't worry. Type that in, the rest will come up.
Yes, because the thing is, I want them to understand what I'm saying, because sometimes I do not enunciate as clearly as I would like. So when they see it in writing, it's easier for them to find you. So hold on a moment. It's Profits in Daily. Here it is. Ta-da! Coach Karen at Profits in Daily. You can find her everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And she is here to help you run a profitable business. Guys, don't forget, you need a money mindset coach because most of it is up here. And when we get new information up here, then our behavior changes and things change in our lives. So with that, I want to remind you, Coach is here for you. And we trust her. We know she's a trusted source. And so we recommend that you get in touch with her if you need more information. With that, we want to remind you that tomorrow is Thursday. We'll be talking Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. And Friday, we'll be talking tech in English. In other words, in a way that you can understand. It's going to be real clear. So if not, we're going to clarify, communicate and clarify. With that, we just want to remind you, go to the front of your own line and have a great day.
Yes.
Bye-bye.